I'm going to help you become more of who you truly are, getting rid of all that conditioning. Conditioning can also be known as socialization, being told to show up in a certain way and to hide certain parts of yourself and maybe emphasize other parts of yourself. And this call to be a social chameleon in order to get by and to be successful. However, what is your definition of success? Is it following the herd or is it doing your own thing, beating to the beat of your own drum? It's more likely the latter if you are a projector. So, we're going to go over 5 of my favorite tips on your deconditioning journey. Number 1 is embrace solitude. This isn't to say to shut yourself away and not talk to anyone and be a total recluse. However, taking time for solitude, let's say once a day, I call this the tech-free code of 111 in my book Confident Introvert, but we can even go a little bit deeper and maybe you can be off technology and be off of other people. And basically, what this does, it allows you to be in your own energy, in your own aura, so to speak, and allows you to reconnect with what is really true for you. And you may want to spend this time in nature. You may want to spend this time in silence, meditation, creating some sort of art, maybe you're writing. And it's really crucial to find that time for yourself, especially as a projector who is more likely to be conditioned than other types because we have an open sacral center. So that is where our creativity comes from. That is where our sexuality comes from. And that being open means that we are susceptible to everyone else's energy and projecting it back. And this all happens, of course, automatically, energetically. So if you allow yourself to simply just be sometimes, it's going to make such a difference in your life. The second is sound healing. So if you've ever been around a really loud, jarring noise and felt the opposite of healed, flip that and get yourself to a sound bath, or you can even do it at home. There are YouTube videos on this where you're simply allowing yourself to be bathed in sound in a way. And this can clear your chakras if you're carrying a bunch of junk that really isn't yours, right? We're deconditioning for a reason. Maybe you are empathetic and you've picked some stuff up. So this is your time to allow yourself to either go to a sound bath or if you've ever gotten into binaural beats, that can actually help reprogram your subconscious mind depending on the frequency. You can book a session with a professional in either of these regards, or you can get started on YouTube and just see how you feel. Third up is intentionally rewiring your brain. So, certified hypnotherapist here. And did you know that in between the ages of 0 and 7, your subconscious thoughts and beliefs about yourself are largely in place? This is the reason why maybe there are some goals in career, in romance that you may not have achieved yet or experienced yet, despite on a conscious level really wanting to. There's an opportunity to become more aware of what is subconscious and to make it conscious. Or in the case of hypnotherapy and hypnosis, you don't always need to have conscious awareness to clear it. But one exercise that I like to recommend to get started on your own is to ask yourself what you believe to be true that you wish was not true. And that can actually give you an indication of what could actually be not true, but a limiting belief. And the reason why I frame it in that way is because oftentimes our limiting beliefs, we don't think of them in that way. You're more likely to think of it as an unfortunate truth when it's nothing more than your conditioning. It's probably not yours. You probably weren't born with those sentiments, but perhaps even well-meaning people growing up wanted to save you from potential disappointment, and they told you these things, and it's keeping you small today when it doesn't need to apply to your reality. Number 4, feel your feelings. Do you tend to feel like your feelings are so overwhelming that it's a lot easier and makes more sense to bottle them up than to let them all out because maybe you just couldn't handle it? Or maybe it feels like knock, knock, like nobody's home. The emotions just aren't there. So, in either of those scenarios, there is invitation for you, especially as a projector. Allow this to be an invitation to care about your feelings at least as much as the most caring person in your life. And the next level is to care about your feelings the most, to really prioritize your emotional care. This doesn't mean acting out from an emotional place or telling people off or expressing in a way that's volatile. What it means is taking more time and space, perhaps in solitude, circling back to number one, and allowing yourself to deeply breathe. And this doesn't need to be purely logical. Oftentimes, what I like to do with clients is ask that they close their eyes and give the emotion a color, a texture, and to observe it. Where is it in your body? Because as we went through in the sound portion, number two, there's this tendency for us to store emotion in our energetic body. And sometimes they are our emotions, or if you're an empath, you could actually be taking on other people's emotions. Have you ever been in a situation where you're talking with someone and you're feeling more and more drained, and they seem to feel more and more ambient and better? And maybe they're not even talking with you, they're talking at you. So these are things to simply be aware of. And honoring your emotions, first and foremost, doesn't mean that you don't honor other people's, but you are putting your oxygen mask on first so that you have more to give to other people. Number five is to look at your signature and not self themes on a daily basis. Okay, if you are a projector, your signature is success. When you feel successful and accomplished and seen and recognized, that is you in your power. And you can't always control other people perceiving you in that way. However, when you feel that within yourself, whether it is externally validated or not, when you know that you gave it your all and that you created something that you believe has potential to change lives or really have a positive impact on someone somewhere in the world, that is when you are in your element. So take a moment in your life throughout your day and identify, oh, I'm living my design when you feel successful. The alternative of this is when you feel bitter. That is your not self theme. So if you find yourself, let's say, feeling underappreciated or overlooked, or someone else got the promotion, or you were broken up with, or whatever the situation is, it's not even always about other people doing something to you, right? It could really be maybe you feel bitter because of something that no one else knows about, but maybe you had this expectation of maybe how someone would treat you, or you weren't considered for an opportunity that you think you're well suited for, but no one seemed to know it. These can be internal experiences, and I'd first like you to take responsibility for anything that you do. Don't do it for an outcome. Do it for the love of it, and then you'll feel successful, regardless of if anyone else is giving you a positive accolade or not. And then, ironically, when you decide to care less about what other people are thinking and care more about what you have control over, that is when the accolades start pouring in. So, this is a nuance here, though. If you go into this thinking, okay, I'm gonna put all of my eggs in my own basket and take these actions because subconsciously or in some way I really want to get people to like me or get this result. It's repelling, doesn't work. Deconditioning for a human design projector is about knowing your innate worthiness and creativity and expressing it and being in the joy of the process to the point where there can and there certainly will be a time when someone, one person in the world, thousands, millions of people in the world discover you and think, wow, what a gem. But until that time, this is your opportunity to take those steps every day to let the conditioning of society telling you that you're not enough of this, too much of that, and to really check in with your emotion. Let's do a recap of what these 5 deconditioning points are. And I'd like to hear from you. Which one do you find the most challenging? We can do a deep dive on that. The first one is to spend plenty of time in solitude, aka your own aura. 2 is to use the power of sound to heal your aura. Number 3 is to intentionally take steps to rewire your subconscious. 4 is to feel your feelings and to integrate the wisdom that comes with them. And 5 is to be aware of when you are in your not self theme and when you are in your signature. So thank you for tuning in. Plenty more where this came from. My name's Stephanie Toma, and I love diving in and helping human design projectors like myself because we are on quite the journey. So I'm wishing you such a wonderful day of feeling even more like yourself. Until next time.